One of the best artists and nicest people I have ever known is my friend Fred Danziger. We have taught together for close to 3 decades at a Philadelphia art school. One day, Fred showed me a video he had made and uploaded to YouTube. That inspired me to get into filmmaking, which has been one of the greatest joys of my life. A little while back, he showed his work at the Roger Lapel Galleries in Philadelphia. And while I don't always agree with Roger, his assessment of Fred is right on the money.
He is a really good guy.
At his art opening, I asked Fred to tell me a little bit about his work.
It's a collection of mostly recent work from the... there's a mosquito after me, John. You brought that from New Jersey, didn't you? All the way from New Jersey. No. Work from the past 10 years mostly. It reflects my obsessive-compulsive need to render nature down to the minutest detail in the most painterly way that I can. That's probably a good summary of what I'm trying to do. Trying to be close to nature through my art.
All right, now you got a pretty darn good art review. How did that make you feel?
It made me feel good.
And why is that?
I like it when people say nice things about my work.
You're a terrific artist.
And when they don't, I get angry at them.
Right now, you're using a different kind of medium, right?
I'm using water-soluble oil paints, which are wonderful and have all the richness of regular oil paint. But you can clean up with soap and water, and you don't have the chemical solvents required that you do with regular oil painting. So I really like water-soluble oils.
It said in that art review that you've been concentrating on landscapes more intensively in the last 10 years.
For many years, I was bouncing from one thing to another in the art world, and they were very much concept-oriented, where I would get an idea for a painting, and I would try to actualize the idea. And I've thrown all that sort of out the window, and all I try to do now is to be close to nature and not worry about what ideas I have. I just have one simple idea, and that is I love nature, and how do I express that in paint? That's all I try to do now.
These close-ups of leaves really have an almost Asian feeling to me. Is that something that is accidental? Or?
No, it's not accidental. I've been interested in the Taoist philosophy as part of the seeking of a truth in nature. I've always responded to Asian art of all kinds, from India to Japanese art and everything in between. I think that combination of both flat and deep at the same time is something that I think reflects almost a mathematical order that underlies nature. I think of this as an abstract painting, almost like if I were to do a Jackson Pollock, but I would paint it with a very small brush and paint every little drip by hand. This is kind of like Pollock's Autumn Rhythm in a way. When you look real close in at all this and the textures, once it's roughed in and balanced sort of, it's done with an extremely small brush to get all these little spots and color changes and glazes involved.
One thing I noticed that is a little different is there's a real texture to the paint, and I don't remember you used to do that so much.
Yeah, I think with these nature close-up series, as opposed to the ones that are more traditional landscape format, I do them in a series of layers, like a black and white layer, and then a rough color layer, and then a finish color layer, and then a very meticulous layer on top of that. By the time all those layers are on there, the paint is thicker than it has been in the past. But I've always liked paint, and I've always felt like that the painterly richness is part of the joy of painting, just swirling paint around and watching it do things on the canvas.
I want you to see the second Fred in the painting. I don't know whether it's in focus.
Yeah, a little closer. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Lower.
So it's amazing how I can be two places at the same time.
Truly magnificent show, Fred.
Well, thank you, John.
Awe-inspiring.
Appreciate it.